You mentioned technology just
Yes.
now, so let's move a little bit to technology because it's a huge theme for Singapore, especially given its smart nation vision as well. And technology is being seen as a strong enabler for urban growth and development, but the creation of these technological solutions is traditionally not the domain of governments, it's the private sector. So how does MND ensure that it's tapping onto the growth and the development of these technologies to actually achieve some of its policy objectives?
Yeah. I think in Singapore's case, it's quite unique compared to other countries, because if you look at our infrastructure and built environment, a lot of the expertise and capabilities reside in the public sector.
Okay.
In the old PWD,
Yes.
but now still in HDB, in LTA, in JTC. If you look at the kind of work that they do for rock underground caverns, for industrial building and infrastructure, huge capabilities there. For public housing, certainly in HDB. Right? So that is something that is unique to us, because we developed through a lot of public sector led initiatives and programs. Of course, not through the public sector alone. They work with many private contractors and partners, but there's lots of expertise in the public sector. So one of the first things we want to do is to make sure that within the public sector, we continue to retain and grow this expertise. And we also find ways that to translate these capabilities into economic activity for Singapore. Meaning to say, we can take some of these expertise, turn it to commercial urban solutions, which companies can export overseas as well. Companies like Sabana, or some of our developers or ascenders, they could take some of the infrastructure urban solutions which we have done well in Singapore and then bring them overseas, or for that matter even high flux as a very good example. Right? So I think there is one part of the technology story is around this. We do have capabilities in the public sector. Some of the work they do is really quite cutting edge, and we have engineers. Yes, I think there was a period of time when some of the engineering capabilities diminished, right? But to be fair, I think it's a lot of it is still retained in the public sector, and we are making quite a concerted effort to make sure that it's strengthened. Right? And I think then the issue there is to continue to retain that capability and allow for closer partnership with private sector companies, so that that expertise can also turn out to be an economic capability and advantage for Singapore in terms of exporting urban solutions to many cities that are in need of urban solutions. But then, having said that, I think in the public sector, we should also recognize that we do not have all the answers, and we should rely on new technologies. So we are putting in a lot of R&D investments into urban solutions. And the R&D solutions, the R&D funding and investments would entail public sector agencies working very closely with corporates, corporate labs, corporate research units, as well as with academics. Academics which may be doing more upstream research, say in terms of material science, primary research, basic research that may not have direct applications, but could potentially lead on to breakthroughs down the road. Right? So that's something that we hope through R&D funding and investments, we can help to build this ecosystem between our public sector agencies, which already have existing strengths, and then strengthen the nexus with corporate companies, corporate labs and companies that can take advantage of the IP that's created to turn into economic advantage, and also strengthen the nexus with primary researchers in the universities.